obviously some things we still need to continually improve on, but as the season goes, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You're never staying the same as a team, so we're always constantly trying to improve, and I think we improved on some things from the week before, which is what I want to see. We still got a lot of improvement to do this week. Should be a great challenge for us, playing a team. Doesn't show a lot of weaknesses. Very good, very well coached, very disciplined, filled with talent at every position across the board. I mean, I think top recruiting class each of the last 4 years, 5 years. Everybody on their roster is a 4 or 5 star prospect for the most part. And you know what? Those guys, they get them in a position to make plays. They're a very physical team. They make plays. They don't make many mistakes. They don't turn the ball over. On the offensive side of the ball very often, you know, they kind of pound. You see in a lot of what they've done, they pound away at people, pound away, and they wait for you to make a mistake, and then pounds as the game goes on. And so it should be a great challenge for our guys. We're going to have to play our best game of the year. Obviously, going into a hostile environment will be a big challenge for us, and our guys will be ready to roll.
If you got a question, raise your hand. We'll get your microphone.
Andy, the guys have talked a lot about Classic Boys about respect. Do you play that part this week at all, or is that, does it
you know, I mean, I would look at it for our guys. I think they look at it. They kind of say that because they hear everybody asking them that question, and then they think, oh yeah, we're going to get respect when you ask them that question. For our guys, to me, the respect issue comes down. Our guys respect themselves. They respect each other, and that's really the only respect you need in a football team. What people outside of our building say about us is their opinion. We have to worry about what we think about each other inside, and I think our guys have a lot of respect for the leaders on the team. They respect how everybody on the team works, and they respect each other. They respect our program, so they give great effort in those regards because of those things, and that's really all that matters.
Dan, AJ McCarron only no interceptions. He's got that big offensive line in front of him. What can you do to try and force him into mistakes, and what is he doing so well that you've noticed on film that maybe guys like me aren't catching?
Well, you know, I don't think you don't always force people into mistakes. You know, they make mistakes. And he does a good job of not doing it. He doesn't force balls into bad situations. I think a lot of the protection helps that when you have all that experience and the talent on the offensive line. A lot of times you'll see interceptions come after a sack, you know, after there's been a bunch of pressure, you know, guys trying to get rid of the ball too soon or getting the ball tipped. They don't do much of that. You know, I mean, they run the ball very well. They protect him well. And he does a nice job getting the ball out of his hands when he needs to, and when it's not there, he just throws it away and goes on to the next play. They don't not make the mistakes that way. So I guess you have to get them flustered, which they haven't been this year. You have to put them in that situation if you're going to expect them to make mistakes.
You think he's the best quarterback in the SEC this year?
You know, statistically, he's the best one we've played so far, and so I think there's a bunch I haven't seen this year, but he's the best we've seen so far.
Can you talk about Tyler's year as quarterback and how is it because he's comfortable what you've done with him over the years, or is it the maturation of people around him?
I think it's a little bit of everything. You know, I mean, he has a lot of confidence in the guys that are around him because they've been playing together for a couple of years. The guys that are around him are comfortable in what we're doing offensively. So a lot of times you're going to see they're getting open, they're getting in the right position, getting where they need to be. I think he's very comfortable with our system and what we ask him to do, and he has experience being out there on the field. So you know, I think in game situations, you know, I mean, he's been hit a bunch. He's had pressure come after him. He's played in hostile environments, and so he's been through those situations. And I think once you've been through it, you learn that it. Like I said, you know, I don't think he panics very often, and panic is usually when you start panicking, that's when you usually throw interceptions and make mistakes.
Coach, you've got consistent results since you came to Starkville. I wonder what you've learned as a head coach and your philosophy on maintaining consistency on and off the field.
Well, I mean, as a coach, you have to be consistent, and our players know that. I mean, when they come in, I think we try to be consistent in recruiting and in what we tell our guys what it's going to be like, what our are. And those expectations don't change, you know, from whether I'm sitting in a parent's living room to their freshman year through their senior year. Our expectations are we expect our guys to work really hard, be committed to our program, be willing to sacrifice to become successful. And, you know, that work ethic is why guys, I think, want to come here. We push them in every aspect of their life. And the football part's the easy part to me. You know, I mean, we push them in the classroom, we push them in the community, how they behave, how they act, how they train in the off season. And I think because we stay very consistent that way with them, you see consistent results on the field.
Coach, how do you personally feel about being a 20-plus point underdog?
I don't put any money on games, so that doesn't really affect me. I feel great if we walked into the stadium and it said 24-0 before the game started, whatever they say it is. Someone told me that, right? They're going to spot us those points before we start. I feel great because I don't bet. I don't. That's what affect me too much.
Dan, you've mentioned Alabama's recruiting success the last 2 or 3 days. Do you feel like it's a philosophical difference between the two programs where you take 2- and 3-star kids from Mississippi and develop them what they have, and Alabama has 4- and 5-star kids ready-made?
I mean, I guess. I mean, it's a product of your environment in some ways. You know, I mean, I think they get top prospects around the country automatically. Look, for me, it's neat. I've been in some schools that you walk in, you have a certain logo on your shirt, you can walk in any, you can go to Alaska, and everyone wants to hear what you have to say. And they have that there with the tradition that they have. That, you know, hopefully one day here we have that type of tradition. You know, we built our program that way. So I think that makes it a little bit easier on it. But you build your program on what you are. You know, I mean, we came here, our ideal of the program is we're going to develop players, and we've had a lot of success doing it. And that's how we've kind of followed it. I look at their roster, and they get a lot of great players. But, you know, give them credit, they do a good job developing their players too, because there's a lot of guys, I guess, that are 4- or 5-star type guys every year that you never hear from again and end up being busts, and their guys are very successful, so it's a tribute to their staff. They did a good job developing.
But you would think that there's a philosophical difference in the way you two guys approach recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, I think there has to be. I guess I don't know how they do it.
Okay.
I mean, I've never worked for Nick or any of that stuff. I've been around him or how he runs his program. You know, everything I know about him, I've always been on the opposite sideline, so they don't share the